We begin with this Fox News alert. Some people in Washington, D.C. are very grateful for President Trump's mission to curb violent crime, but the resistance by their elected liberal leaders and some of their more liberal neighbors is quite toxic. In fact, some of that flex might be for cash. Protests are popping up around the district, despite the fact that federal officials have already arrested more than 100 people in the president's D.C. crackdown on violent crime. Those protests are raising more and more questions, like who's organizing them? Because they are very organized, and they have those like pre-printed signs. Come on, we saw this before in all of the anti-Semitic rallying that was going on across Ivy League campuses in this country. It looks a lot like that. The New York Post is reporting that groups backed by, oh, maybe this is why, far-left billionaire George Soros and other dark money groups have funded the outrage to the tune of $20 million so far. The CEO of a crowd rental company says paid protester requests have surged 400% in D.C. since the president took over. Republican Congressman Byron Donalds in focus with me yesterday.
We know that there's paid astroturf from the radical left. They do this all the time with a lot of their phony protests. When you talk to some of these people on the ground, they don't live in the jurisdictions. They tell you they're being paid. They're bussed in, and then when the issue's over, they leave. This is part of the astroturf of the Democratic left. We're far too familiar.
Some 400 National Guard troops were out on patrol on streets last night. Another 400 are expected to arrive by the weekend, so just in a day or so. And that'll reach that 800 originally that the president had talked about when he said he would do this. Under the home rule section, allowing the feds to take over, those men and women on the ground now in uniform have 27 days left to stay in D.C. However, the president is confident they may stay longer.
If it's a national emergency, we can do it without Congress, but we expect to be to Congress before Congress very quickly. And again, we think the Democrats will not do anything to stop crime, but we think the Republicans will do it almost unanimously. We're going to be asking for extensions on that, long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days.
You know, D.C.'s police chief and even the mayor have acknowledged the opportunity they have here with enhanced presence to really boost their arrest numbers, even though we're getting this kind of, it's somewhat support from local officials here. You have Democrats at large just pushing back, like this is the worst thing in the world. You have Senator Chuck Schumer brushing off any idea of prolonging federalized D.C. police force. Listen.
If he went to Congress and said, you know what, there's this crime emergency, we need the National Guard out there longer, we need to take over Washington, D.C., would you grant it?
No way. We'll fight him tooth and nail.
All right, he was pretty clear there. Opponents have also seen this as an opportunity to renew calls for locals to have more control by turning D.C. into a state, a ridiculous notion, according to the president.
We want to straighten the place out. Statehood's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. It's the Democrats want it because the Democrats have, about 95% in this little area. Even I didn't get it very much. They want that. They want to pick up 2 senators, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
A D.C. resident found out what happens when you take qualms too far. According to police, a 37-year-old verbally assaulted law enforcement before chucking a sub, some call it a hoagie, whatever you might call it, at a Customs and Border Protection officer. Here is U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro.
He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. So there, stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
The U.S. Attorney Pirro, she brought up a saying that you've heard from the president, if you spit, we hit. That pertains to how police officers and federal agents are treated out in the streets. But it is worth reminding people that spitting, that's considered assault as well.
Let's start with the paid protests, because from the George Soros groups, this is nothing new. But I pointed something out months ago when his son Alexander Soros was taking over. He's much farther left, if you can even be that, than his father.
Yeah, you're right, Harris. And they have so much money, and now that they're even further left, you're going to see this happen more and more often. We've seen it even in my home state, your great state of Arizona. But we're seeing this in D.C. Look at what they're doing. They're fighting against bringing safety, public safety, to the city of the District of Columbia. Just think about that. And that's how radical they are, but they've got the resources to do it. And they're bringing in people who they're just rent-a protesters. That's what they're doing for a living.
We have a lot of investigation and journalism to do on exactly where the money comes from, which groups are actually participating, and all of that. Meanwhile, critics are calling out how Democrats have responded to the president's D.C. crackdown. One op-ed with this: Democrats prove once again that they are the stupid party. The Washington Examiner editorial board with the headline, Democrats fall into Trump's D.C. takeover trap. Even some of the legacy media are admitting, yeah, there's a problem.
You don't brag about a rising murder rate. And the Democrats are, I agree with you, Mika, they're falling into the trap of defending what's indefensible.
It's a trap. Yes, it's a trap.
Look, I mean, she's not there is a crime problem everywhere. I mean, in multiple cities. Big cities have traditionally had crime problems.
You know, Harris, I just get a kick out of that because they think it's a trap. They doubt the sincerity of President Trump, but President Trump gets it. D.C. is crime-ridden, and it's dangerous. We've had people murdered that work on Capitol Hill. Neighborhoods are not safe. People don't want to go out. But the bottom line is, it's not a trap. The only trap that they get is that Donald Trump is in their mind. The reality is we've got to bring safety to the city, and I think Donald Trump's doing it fantastically.
Well, my husband first. It was the 1st of January of 2021. He was trying to help an elderly man, and he was stabbed to death. My son, somebody came up behind him and shot him 8 times, twice in the head, 6 times in the body, and he's a paraplegic now. We were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? But with all the things that are going on with our president, you know, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
So President Trump has federalized the police department in Washington, D.C., and people are upset. He's calling it Liberation Day for Washington, D.C., and I couldn't agree more. The crime in D.C. has ran rampant, and it's about time that people can now have faith and trust in law enforcement out there and be able to walk the streets and not get hit over the head or mugged. I mean, why would anybody be upset with that? We just had a young member of Doge beat by a gang of young males. I mean, why would anybody have a problem with that? The left is calling him a dictator. They're calling him an authoritarian. A lot of names that they throw, a lot of word salads. Of course, they're calling for him to be impeached. But the people that support him is calling for more. This is what we voted for. And we're very happy that this man is making DC safe. He's making America safe. Look at the border. Have we had any other illegal border crossings since he took office? Nah. A big difference from what we've dealt with the last 4 years and who was responsible.
So the fake news, CNN here, a bunch of evil people, wants you to believe that crime is down in DC and Donald Trump is just being a dictator. Well, I want you to please listen to what people who actually live in DC have to say about it. Listen to this.
I don't understand it, and I don't think I ever will. Why the f is people that's not from the city saying DC's not that bad? Why is from Denver, Colorado saying DC's not that bad and Trump is just trying to be a dictator? Gang, DC is like Gotham City, bruh. Like, y'all do not know. Y'all out of towners, Mo. Mind y'all business, bruh. 4 infants got killed in a month. This shoot is every day. Carjacking every day. The city is wild right now, bro. And it might say it's the lowest it's ever been. That's because he's not getting caught. There's so much going on. Y'all don't even know, bro. I'm really recovering from getting shot in DC, gang. So for y'all out of towners to be like DC's not that bad and it don't need to be done, y'all don't know shit, bro. Like for real, y'all don't know shit, bro. What Donald Trump is doing right now, getting the homeless off the street and putting all these law enforcement people in throughout DC, that shit needs to be done. Good. I'm tired of fucking Gotham City, gang. I'm tired of that, bro. I'm trying to go to U Street and not have to worry about running from fucking bullets, bro. Sick of that shit, gang.
Man, the city is crazy. Yes, we got the National Guard, but y'all really that upset? I'm not. Can I tell you why? I've been to multiple funerals in the last year. Multiple. I have a personal friend of mine who lost her daughter to gun violence. She was 3 years old. You think I'm mad? I'm more mad that she got killed than I am at Trump. See, y'all pick and choose what y'all want to be mad at. But when them little ass boys was outside shooting up neighborhoods and all of these little kids was getting killed, I ain't see all this anger. I ain't see all this outrage in this roar. Why? Because it ain't hit your doorstep? Y'all mad about the wrong shit. Y'all should be mad at these kids outside and they ain't got no control. That's what y'all should be mad at. Fuck all the statistics. I'm speaking to you from a personal standpoint, what I seen with my own eyes. I rode a 16, 17-year-old into a church household. In his casket. Y'all never did that. And you want me to be mad that something is going on today, something is happening now to cure the streets, to slow down violence? I'm not mad at all. And I ain't mad that it might take longer, but something is being done. Y'all got pick and choose. Y'all was cursing Murray Bowers out. Now y'all cursing Trump out about something that he trying to help and deal with. Was y'all mad at the mayor as much as y'all mad at Trump? Because under her administration, I still see babies dying every year. We ain't went 5 months without a kid dying. Baby by the age of 1 through 14, they asses dying. But you want me to be mad at Trump? Y'all want to be mad at Trump? How? I'm watching these people die like on a monthly basis. Y'all not seeing it? What? Y'all don't see it now? What's going on?
Well, anybody with common sense understands what's happening here. They hate Donald Trump. These Democrat liberals, Trump haters in Washington, D.C., or any state, any other places, hate Donald Trump. So they have to be against everything and anything he's doing. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump is actually trying to make the city safer. No, Trump is bad, so I have to be against him. Honestly, it's fascinating to see how Democrats, Trump haters, analyze this type of situation. Their thinking process is out of this world.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.